Good evening. That was a test. Good evening. It's a test, but thank you. I appreciate that. You guys can participate in the test. We'll try it again in just a minute. Okay. Do we need this? Let me know. Laura's going to give me the cue. Can't hear her. Okay. We're going to test again in a minute. Sounds like their settings may be off on their computer or however they're, yeah, that's what it looks like. You don't have to be quiet, ladies. I'll let you know, okay? I'll give you that look, that mom look. Be quiet, right? We all know it. We've all given it. Good evening. Better. They can hear us? Oh, that means hold, not. Test again. Good evening. Ooh, you guys are good. That's good. I love it. Practice makes perfect. All right, I think we are a go. Good evening. Yay, super excited. Welcome to our August pursuit. And my name is Dawn Ambler, and I'm a member of the leadership team. I've been involved for, it's going on 5-6 years now. And wanted to welcome all of you to our pursuit tonight. Also, if we have anyone joining us on YouTube, which I hope that we do, you will find us live the first Wednesday of every month at 6:30. So I encourage you to come back and visit us every month, the first week of the month. If you are also online and you would like more information about the Single Mom KC, please email us at info@thesinglemomkc.org. And we'd love to have you join us in person if that is all possible. But before we begin, we want to highlight some of our amazing programs that are coming up. In your folder, you should have a sheet that has the workshops on it that should look like this. And on the back are QR codes. I love QR codes. They're so easy. So if you're interested in any of the programs that I'm going to share with you today, I encourage you to sign up and register today. Our first upcoming program is September, and this will be a fun evening. We're going to have, it's going to be life management, simplifying mealtime. Who thinks mealtime is chaotic? Yeah, it always was for me too. So we're excited. It's going to be dinner time in a single mom home, and we know it's chaotic. It can be overwhelming and extremely stressful. Come here, our very own Desiree Anderson and Jennifer McConico, which they'll be sharing tips on making dinner time easier and offer very simple dinner recipes that we can be prepared daily and very quickly. Also, we encourage you to bring with you mealtime tips, and if you have an easy recipe that you'd like to share with everyone, we're going to gather those up and send them out to you all, guys, so you can actually enjoy those and take advantage of some of those recipes. I know I always appreciated that when I was a single mom. The next program that is coming up is if you have completed Victim to Victorious workshop, you are invited to attend our Raising Victorious Kids. I actually lead that workshop. We offer it once a year. I'm super excited to offer it again. It'll be September 20th, 9 in the morning till 2 on a Saturday. In recent years, educators have voiced concerns about the number of children who seem overwhelmed and have trouble coping. A healthy mindset plays a really critical role in how our children cope with life's challenges now and as they become adults. This workshop will really empower you as mothers with keys on how to raise victorious kids who have a healthy mindset and become independent adults who will prosper in the world. There will be childcare available through 5th grade, and breakfast and lunch is also provided. It's a really great morning, and I hope to see you there. Also, all moms are eligible for the Healing the Heart Wounds workshop. This is our 2-day workshop. Anyone can attend this. The next one is Friday, October 10th. It's a Friday, Saturday. On the Friday, we go from 5:30 to 9, and on Saturday, it's 8:30 to 6. It is the one program we do not offer childcare for. So, but it is a really, really good workshop. It's led by facilitators that are trained in Bible-based heart healing. This workshop is really designed to bring healing to your emotions, your spirit, and soul from difficulties like divorce, chronic illness, financial strain, abuse, loss, neglect, and trauma. Dinner on Friday, and then breakfast and lunch on Saturday are provided. So again, get that old little QR code out and sign up. Also, our biggest event of the year is coming up, and it's our annual walk for the Single Mom KC. Yes, and you may have noticed on the table are these really cute little tickets, and these are for you. You may have noticed, and they are your personal invitation to join us that day for the 4th annual walk for the Single Mom KC. And this year's walk is October 18th. It's at Sarco Trails Park in Lenexa. That's where we've had it in the past. Beautiful, beautiful park. There's no cost to register. for the walk, and we'll have a pancake breakfast, which that's what I want to come for, live music, and raffles. I love pancakes. Pets and strollers are welcome. Most importantly, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to invite someone in your life. So if you want to take an extra ticket and give that to invite them, we encourage you, and we have plenty of tickets if you need more. Again, it's a real opportunity to recognize them, walk alongside you and your family. If you have a friend, church member, colleague, or family member who fits that description, grab the tickets, give them to them, and we'd love to have them come and celebrate moms and the moms being superheroes. You are superheroes, ladies, okay? We're going to just celebrate that. And as well as sidekicks who show up to support them. So again, register for the walk. I want to see you all there. And, there is the QR code on the ticket as well. In your lovely packet, we always have lots of goodies. So tonight, what we have is we have the speaker notes. So that is in here. I know all these tools here. That's available. You have a blank piece of paper for notes. So it'll say Pursuit Notes, which looks like this lovely page. You'll have a take-home journal to help you to put in practice what is shared with you tonight. The children's program overview of tonight's lesson is in here, as well as a family activity. And these are prayer cards to pray over your family. So just love what Marissa and her team puts together for us for the children. Even before I introduce the speaker, I think that it is school's in the air, right, ladies? I'm going off script, so hopefully Lori won't be mad at me. But it is a big time, right? Most of you probably have kids starting. I really think we should just take a moment and take a deep breath. So let's all breathe in, let it out slowly. Let's breathe in one more time. Breathe in. Let's just let that go. And let's allow space for you to enjoy our speaker tonight. Our speaker is Jody Maddox, and I had a little time to meet with her. What a lovely lady. She's got some great experience. Jody is a director of field experience and evaluation for the School of Education at Rockhurst University in Kansas City, Missouri. She's an author, a certified parent coach from the Parent Institute. She has the privilege of working with educators and parents as a coach and a consultant throughout the United States, and specializes in working with individuals who desire growth and change for themselves and the people that is in their care. Jody's experience as an educator includes over 28 years in public and private schools, working with students, teachers, and parents in preschool, elementary, middle, high school, and now at the college level. She did it all. It's very impressive. She was a building principal at both the elementary and high school level, and in 2022, she earned her coaching certificate and started her own coaching and consulting firm. So please help join me in welcoming Jody.
Well, good evening, ladies. Thanks for having me. Where am I? This is beautiful. This room is beautiful. Your faces are beautiful. What a beautiful program. I am just so excited and blessed to be here, and just humbled by all the things you try and get into about an hour and a half. That's what we do, is when we're like, we got 90 minutes, let's get it done. So thank you for having me. Tonight we're going to talk about something that is affecting all of us, specifically families. But before we dive into a little bit of my background and how we got here, I kind of like to know our audience. Now, I know your moms, I know that. So I have just a few questions, and you can just raise your hand, okay? So moms of like 1 or 2 children. Nice, okay. Moms of more than 2 children. Nice. Moms of more than 5 children. All right, our saints are over on this side of the building. That is fantastic. I love that. I'm the baby of 5, so I know what you got going on. Yeah, you got a lot going on in that family. That's great. So where are my moms that have babies? I saw a couple cute ones over here. Awesome. Okay, where are my toddler moms? What's next? We got elementary education kiddos out there. All right. Middle school, high school. Got anybody in college? Look at that. Okay, we got them all. I love that. Well, as you heard a little bit about my background, we didn't mention I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. They're adults. They're off the payroll. Yes, it worked. I survived, and they're both neurodiverse. One struggles with severe anxiety, and one struggles with ADHD. I am not a smoker and a drinker, believe that or not. I did it, and I did it while assistant principal of their high school. Look at that. Yes. But what a joy. What a blessing. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Even the hard stuff, right? Like, that's where strength is developed. That's where the courage comes out. Well, tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about technology and boundaries, which it could have been like over talked about. But then again, it really isn't. Everything is changing so fast, especially for you all. And if you have children in college and high school, and you look at what these young moms are doing with their elementary school, you're like, my kids were just there, and I didn't have to deal with that. That's how fast it's moving. My background is in special education. That's how I started in education. This is my 31st year. My 31st year in education, and I was a special ed teacher. Loved it. Then I went to the dark side of administration, and I say that lovingly. I was a principal at the high school and at the elementary level, and what I loved about being an administrator was you really did get to affect change, and you got to keep things kid-focused, because what I noticed as a parent, but then I also noticed as a teacher, is so many times these decisions were being made outside of being kid-focused. So after about 28 years of running the gauntlet, I started working with a coach of my own, and I said, I'm 50, and I want to do something different, but I want to be in education. And she helped me answer a lot of questions, but the one question that just really weighed on me and really helped me make the leap, she said, what has kept you in education? And believe it or not, it was the parents. I love working with the parents. And we talk about the partnership between parents and schools. We talk about it. It does exist. Educators get into education because they love kids and they want to help them. But honestly, you all are in charge. Your values set the tone. And they go to school and they learn academics, and they learn a few other things too, but what you value, what you model, what you talk about, it's gospel. And so I love always working with the parents that are just like, help me out, get me connected, find me the resources. I really want to help. So that's how I got where I'm going. This talk I usually give is a little over 60 minutes usually, and they're giving me a tight schedule. And so we're going to pare it down. I've given you a lot of notes. We're not going to go over all of these notes. We're going to go over the 5 C's of technology. But let's just dive into our packet real quick, and we're going to try and keep me on track. Okay. Oh, yes. One of the reasons I'm here is I wrote a book, and it's called Parenting with a Few F Words. Now, when you tell your mom you wrote a book, she gets super excited, and she wants you to go to Downtown Book and Toy in Jefferson City, Missouri, and do book signing. And I'm like, that's great, Mom. And she's like, what's it called? Like, Parenting with a Few F Words. Jody. Nobody wants that book. And I'm like, I don't think they do. I think they want it. But when I talk about F words, I'm talking about the fuel it takes to be a parent: focus, foster, follow, and forgive. And what each chapter has to do, it dives into the things that you need to know. Things like fostering good coping skills, forgiving sometimes yourself or others in order to move forward. But tonight, the technology piece is under focus. And the focus is things that we know because of research, and things that we know need to pay attention to and affect development. So this part is also in the book. I also have a newsletter, and if you use that QR code, the newsletter is free. Each month, I send out a free newsletter, and we talk about different topics. This month, transition, of course. We're talking about going back to school, and I'm actually talking about technology in regards to school, because most schools, we're STEM, right? We're focused on technology, but we're actually forced to do it because a lot of the things we do are digital anymore. A lot of the books we use are digital. We can't even buy them. So your kids are getting lots of technology at school already. So when they come home, we can't use technology to help them wind down because technology gives us a steady drip of dopamine, a hit to the brain. And it's a different kind of hit. Can you get dopamine baking cookies? You betcha. Can you get it playing soccer? You bet. It doesn't hit like technology does. It's not as quick. It's not as stimulating. So we have to make sure that we're not using technology in a way that is adding to impulsivity, lack of focus, lack of coping skills, those types of things. So, in the first page of your packet, the very top, I talk a lot in my book, in my talks. I do seminars for schools, seminars for teachers. I do a lot with executive functioning skills. Has anybody heard about executive functioning skills and what they are? Raise your hand. Okay, I could nerd out on this. This is it. This is the secret sauce, okay? The executive function is in the frontal lobe of our brain. It is constantly growing. It is constantly changing. One of the reasons I decided to step back is my dad has Alzheimer's, and I wanted to be able to help him. About 4 or 5 years ago, he had about 3 different strokes. After his last stroke, he stopped doing, talking, anything. He lost his confidence. And when you stop doing and talking and engaging, your brain goes boop. Okay, so the frontal lobe of your brain is where all of these things take place. Look at them real quick. Impulse control, emotional control, working memory, flexible thinking, self-monitoring, task initiation, planning and prioritizing, organization. You are not born with these items. You have to learn them. You have to practice them. You have to foster them. We start learning as soon as we're born. So age 0 to mid-20s. Later now, it used to be about age 21, 22. That's why we said, oh, you can drink and smoke and those kinds of things at age 21. That wasn't just a magic number. It was actually tied to brain science. Now we're saying 25, 26, 27 we're seeing. Okay, so these skills are things that we, the adults, in the lives of our children, have to teach. Guess what is slowing this growth down? Technology. Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Okay, so again, I could nerd out. We could go all night. I'll come back and do a whole session on it. It's amazing. All right, the next one is these are the things that are impacting technology. Now, can technology be helpful? You betcha. Yes. Can it be harmful? You betcha. We know it. I want you to start thinking of technology in this way. Is this passive or is it interactive? Passive is me just watching television. I'm going to call the TV technology, okay? When you and I were growing up, some of us were growing up in the 70s, in the 80s, we had that TV, right? And that is technology too. And you could be watching Love Boat or whatever it is we were watching, and no one knew if you were comprehending what was going on. I didn't know. I mean, when they were taking a nightcap, I thought they were like putting on hats. I had no idea. No, nightcap is not what that means. But you can sit there and it just goes on and on. Whether or not I am actually comprehending is the key. So if you are watching television with your children, if you're watching a YouTube video with your children, you're saying, what do you think is going to happen next? Why do you think she said that? Oh my gosh, how does that make you feel? I'm kind of nervous. That's engagement, all right? And those questions grow what? The frontal lobe, all right? So when they're just sitting there scrolling and even doing video games, that's passive. And even a video game can be passive. I'll use myself. I like solitaire. Guess what? When it doesn't go well, I just say new deal. Yeah. I don't like losing. And guess what? It doesn't feel right when I lose. I don't like that, right? And so when we lose at video games, that loss feels different than kickball. Kids lose their mind at kickball and soccer in those 20 minutes of recess. Why? Because losing feels different than it does in a video game. Okay? That's passive. So a quick quiz for yourself as a mom. Is this passive or is this engaging? A Zoom call with grandma is engaging. That's helpful technology. All right? Okay. So this is what research has told us is happening with our kids. Okay, flipping over. I got to check my time because I could ramble and I don't want to. Okay, in April of 2024, girls, ladies, women, April of 2024? That was last year. Pretty crazy. Up until April 24, these were the guidelines that the American Pediatric Association gave us. And I am not making this up. 0 to, I want to say something like 18 months, no technology. None. Don't do it. Come on. I know, I had kids. No, we didn't have technology, but I had Barney, and I had to take a shower. So I can tell you that. So, okay, so 0 to 18, they're all shaking, yeah. So anyway, 0 to 18 months, don't do it. 18 months, I think it was like 3 years of age, 30 minutes per day. These are the guidelines up until April of 2024, okay? And that was per day. Anything from age, I'm not making this up, 4 to the 20s, you should use discretion. Yeah, college. You know your kid, you should use, so that's where this whole screen time, how much screen time, we only do 60 minutes a day, we only do 30 minutes a day, we only do 90 minutes in a week, that's where that whole screen time, we are basing everything on, if they only get 30 minutes, they only get 30 minutes. You can't go pump gas without something talking to you. That's passive too, because I can sit in a bar with 30 televisions and totally tune out the golf, because I don't like golf. This happened, this is real life. I'm at Austin's, we're having a pizza, I'm watching, I don't want to watch golf. All of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, they're playing golf and I'm interested. I was not engaged for over 60 minutes. But all of a sudden my brain went, whoop. So that's the problem. We can't measure 30 minutes, 90 minutes. It's everywhere, okay? So that was old. So then, guess what? Up until then, the American Pediatrics and then the psychiatry, American Academy of Psychiatry, they kind of got a little irritated and angry. And they're like, we've had enough of that nonsense. Let's get some stuff going that is actually helpful, okay? So they came up with the 5 C's. Now, if you want to read everything on this page, it'll explain what those 5 C's are and how it came about. But these are actually the new guidelines for technology. And what they say is very, very helpful for us. And I'm going to go through them quickly, but you can go to that website and you can say, I've got a 3-year-old, I got a 7-year-old, and I got a 12-year-old. Those are 3 very different stages. And they have 3 separate guidelines and different sets of questions that you can ask per stage. So you can really break it down, okay? But we're gonna go through this really quickly. The first one is child. You have to know your child. If you have a child who struggles with anxiety, they don't need to be on social media. It is not helping them whatsoever. It is actually feeding the fear. It is actually crippling their logic. You have to know that. And so you're going to have to set those guidelines. Now, that's a tough guideline. It's a very tough guideline, but this is the analogy that I like to give parents. I'll use 435. I live in Olathe, so I came up 435. If your child looked at you and said, hey, my friends, we're going to go out on 435 and just hang out for a little bit. We found this new game. We're so excited. We're just for a little bit, Mom. Not long, just you would lose your mind. You would know, or you would even accuse them of losing their mind. Like, come on. You would be so rigid. Why? Because you knew what was at risk. It's hard to say no with social media. It is so hard. But you have to know your child. And if they can't handle certain things, you got to have big conversations. So if you have to know what your child can handle and what they can't handle. You have to know where they are with logic. You have to know, are they black and white? Are they pretty good with that flexible thinking? Are their executive functioning skills one of their strengths? Okay, so it's really important. That's the number 1C, is child. The next one is, and I think this is really important, content. Now, the content changes all the time. I have parents ask me for a list all the time. Common apps to stay off of, common games not to play. I'm telling you right now, it changes so fast that if I gave you a list, it would be changed in 60 days. I was a founding principal of St. Michael the Archangel High School in Lee Summit, and the tech director came to me, and he's like, I'm losing my mind over floppy golf. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, the floppy golf thing, it's going crazy. I block it here, and they bring it up over here, and then they change the name, and then they this and they that. He's like, I have spent a week of my life trying to block floppy golf. I'm like, well, how's it even getting through the filter? He's like, that's a great question. And he was on the founding board of Cerner. And so this was a man who knew what he was talking about, okay? And so you have to know. You have to know. One of the things I did, and this was 10 years ago, so I don't know if it works, but as the assistant principal of a high school, I really didn't want to follow my kids on some social media platforms for a lot of different reasons, but I had my adult niece and nephew follow them, and they told me what was going on, okay? So there are back doors to these kinds of things, but you need to be monitoring. You need to be having all the apps. You need to make sure that you can access everything they can access. I have parents who give phones, kindergarten, 4th, 2nd, 3rd grade. There is no judgment with that. Do you know why? Because of blended families, all right? And there are many, many people who don't want their child going over to their father's house and trusting the other person to give you a call. No, I want my kid to talk to me whenever I want. So we can't say, or don't have a phone till 8th grade. That's not reality. Okay, so you know your child, and you have to tell them what you are okay with. And you have to tell them why you're not okay with it. And if they have a phone, they have access to the internet, and they are susceptible to everything. The average age of pornography being viewed is 7 years old. So if they have a phone, an iPad, a laptop, it'll pop up. Back to the technology at the high school level, I had my high school cheerleaders, they were just so mad because Pinterest was blocked. And I'm like, why are we blocking Pinterest? And so I'm going down to the tech director, and I'm like, come on, cheers and bows and all kinds of things. And he's like, sure, yeah, for a 15-year-old girl. Do you know what Pinterest does for a 15-year-old boy? And I was like, no. And they're like, you don't want to know. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So this is why you have to be on everything. The most dangerous thing to me that I have seen with kids is YouTube. It really is. And if you're just letting your kids get on YouTube, the pop-up ads are really what does it. Okay, I gotta stay on track. Okay, calm. This one, I could do a whole session. Why don't our kids have coping skills? What's going on? Is it COVID? Is it the way we're parenting? Well, I can tell you, if you're using technology to help calm your child down, if you're using technology to help your child unwind, if you're using technology to help them get ready for bed, if you're using technology in order to motivate them, they are not making decisions and winding down and calming down on their own. The technology is doing it for them. okay? Very important. There are good coping skills and there are bad coping skills. We all got them. That's right. During COVID, red wine and chocolate chips at the end of the day, not gonna lie, really helped. I was an online principal. That was tough. It was not a good day. That's a bad coping skill. That is nothing I needed to rely on. Okay, so coping skills are there. There are good ones and there are bad ones. But if you are using technology to calm anything down in your family, the child is not learning how to do it themselves. And that is why the American Academy of Pediatrics and Psychiatry gave it one of their C's. Think how powerful it is. They're seeing it behind closed doors. In their sessions, when dealing with families and children, they're seeing, this is what they're seeing. Next. Crowding out. If your child used to be interested in things, but now all they want to do is play video games, all they want to do is scroll, all they want to do is get on YouTube, there's a problem. I have 12 nieces and nephews, and I have 12 great nieces and nephews. Makes me pretty great. And I love all my great nieces and nephews. The oldest one, I think, is maybe 10, and then I go on down to babies. What I see my 7 and 8 and 9-year-old nieces and nephews doing in order to gain 30 minutes of iPad time, it's really troublesome. And they will check every box in order to get those 30 minutes, and going outside is not a priority. Doing the Play-Doh, not a priority. And if they do the Play-Doh, or if they do the Monopoly, or they do whatever, you got to do it with them. Why? Why do we think that is? Say it out loud. Engage. They don't know how to engage because the video game engaged them. The video game tells them what to do next or gives them an option of what to do next. So the problem-solving skills and the coping skills, the thinking skills, the critical thinking, it's all being controlled by that technology. So if you have a child who is starting to say no to things, you probably have a problem. So I gave you a little screen time, do I have a problem? That's in your packet, okay? I'm paying attention to my time. I really wanted to give you the Nordstrom, but you're getting the Dollar General. I mean, you're getting good stuff. I buy it all the time. I love a good DG. You're getting good stuff, but we're going fast. We're going fast. Okay. And then the number one is communication. I want to tell you that the schools are on board, and I want to tell you the schools are partnering with you, but I also want to tell you we're not talking about this stuff. We don't have time. Have you seen the test scores? Yeah. So they might get a conversation in technology class at the beginning of the quarter, the beginning of the semester. I can also tell you when those high schoolers come in, they assume you've had the conversations you need to have. Middle schoolers, they assume somebody else is telling them, we have so much on our plate, we're not talking about this. And if we are talking about this, it might not be everything they need to hear. We're not talking about pornography. That's not coming up. We're not talking about specific sites to go to and not go to, because guess what? That just plants a seed. So you have to have these conversations all the time, and it's really hard. I do a session on anxiety, and in that session, I really dive deep into how to help manage big emotions, and big emotions come out when you start saying no to technology. Big. I was like, oh, can I get an amen on that? I mean, come on. It is hard stuff. But I want you to go back to 435. If they said, just a few minutes, we learned this game, it is so much fun, you would lose your mind. And you wouldn't care if you were making them mad. You wouldn't care because you knew what was at stake. This is what's at stake, ladies. This is what's at stake. Okay, so I want to get through our packet. I did give you an I'm bored list. Because who wants knowledge without solutions? Now that you know, I'm just going to walk off the stage. Here is an I'm bored list. But talk to your kids. Let them know what is at stake. Let them know why you're saying no. My mom and dad told me all the time why they didn't want me drinking and driving, why they didn't want me staying out late, why they didn't want me hanging out with public school kids because I went to a Christian school. They told me all the time, you think I hung out with public school kids? You bet. Yeah, you think I was having a good time? Well, maybe not. But I'm a child, right? I'm supposed to be like pushing the envelope. They said it all the time. It came out why we say no, why we walk away, why all of those things. So when you're talking about technology, I want you to think about drugs and alcohol and technology in the same categories. We're talking about it all the time. This is who we are. This is why we say no. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I want to make sure. Okay, the boundaries. Here are some just kind of non-negotiables that I would really put in place. And then I also gave you, I think, in your packet there is a media contract. Okay, so let's talk about these boundaries. It has the pin at the bottom. It says at the top, healthy boundaries. Okay, the very first thing is I would set time limits for specific ages. And when I say time limits, I'm not saying just the 30 minutes or the 90 minutes or whatever. I'm saying all phones are plugged in on the charger at 9 o'clock because you're 12. You're 7, and we don't even ask about a video game during the week. Like, you give specific, it's a heck no, and they know. My mom's going to say no. Yeah, she's going to say no consistently. Ask me all day long, twice on Sunday night, it's a no. That's how it is. Okay, and the next one is make sure content is age appropriate. That website I gave you, the Media Common Sense with the 5 C's, it's going to tell you what is age appropriate. And then we're going to tie that into your contract. Make sure technology is used in a common location. Now, I understand every home is different. Some homes have a kitchen and a dining room, or my grandma's had a little living room area. Like, some homes don't have an extra room. I would give them my bedroom. Ain't nobody doing nothing in your bedroom that you know what's going on. But I would make sure, if I could, that technology is always at the kitchen table, or always at the dining room table, or always at the desk in the living room. And if your school issues a device, that is a device for education. That's it. It's not used for anything else. And they need to know that. And technology is a privilege, not a right. Yeah. Can I get an amen on that? And I would tell my kids that all the time in my school. I'm like, I got books, I got pens, I got papers. I'll get you the nicest notebook you can find at the Dollar General if you do that again on your laptop. That is for academics only. Nothing else. Nothing else. So you can use that. The other thing, and I think this was Ronald Reagan, I don't know, I'll give him credit for it, trust but verify. Ask them, and then go check it out. Okay, so trust but verify, and make sure that technology does not go in the bedroom. It does not go in the bedroom. They want privacy with it. I don't know why. I don't know why you want technology with it. Privacy, if it's because you're FaceTiming a friend or whatever, I used to talk to my friends on the phone in the kitchen all the time. Yeah. Have you heard about this new kitchen phone thing? I'll talk about it later on, but there's a whole new thing that has to do with kitchen phones, that the phone, literally, cell phones, everything, only goes in the kitchen. Yeah, we're fighting back. We're taking it back. Okay. The next one is avoid using technology as a reward. Now, I know I might have to, watch myself in the parking lot with this, because it's like saying, don't tell your kids you'll give them $20 if they cut your grass, right? I'm giving $20 if they'll cut my grass. When you use technology as a reward, once you do this, you can have 30 minutes of technology. You get this done and this done, you can have you give value to technology. You add currency to the technology. You value it. You're like, okay, this is so nice that it's top shelf. This is top shelf, and you only get it when things are good. Well, I want top shelf all the time. So if you can give rewards in something else, go for it. In the book, I talk a lot about love languages. Sometimes, and if you've got a kid with anxiety, when you know their love language and you're giving them technology as a reward, but their physical touch and all they really want is a nice back rub, wow, that's all I needed to know. I'm getting my teenager a back rub. If you got a kid that loves gifts of service and all they really wanted is to go have a Starbucks with you, I'm giving a Starbucks instead of technology. So just be very aware that when you start rewarding with technology, you're giving it a big value. Okay, let's keep moving. We talked a little bit about the dopamine hit, which is really important. Set guidelines about sharing personal information online all the time. Complete a family technology agreement. Okay, I gave you this. If you got young ones, they don't know any different, this is perfect. If you got teenagers and they're gonna roll your eyes, you read this first. Get the language in your head. Don't start whipping out paperwork. They're gonna go, no way, forget it, okay? But it's gonna give you good language, all right? And then, once you all agree what's going on, and you got to talk to them in the green zone, you can't talk to them in the red zone after they just caught them on social media doing God knows what. You can't talk then, okay? But going over these guidelines, really important. Okay, I think I'm doing it. I think I did it on time. I went fast, 7:16. I'm 1 minute over. I think we're going to have some discussion time. I'm going to stick around and kind of help facilitate some of that. Ladies, thanks for what you do. Thanks for being good moms. This is really great. This is really great.
Thank you, Jody. Wow. She talked about the Dollar General. I got a lot out of the Dollar General. And I just want you to know, my little arrangements I make for workshops are usually from the Dollar General, and I think they're pretty nice, right? So, amen to that. No, I really appreciate that, Jody. A lot of great information. I learned so much today, and I don't have kids at home anymore, but I got a granddaughter, and it definitely is stuff that I'm going to take back and think about, and, just really appreciate it. And I think, a couple of things I would say is that, we're talking about our children, but you know what? I see this in early adults in the workplace. So if we don't tackle this now, when they get in the workplace, it's even worse because they don't know how to interact and be an employee. So the best thing you can do is work on it now because it'll set them up for success, because I see it every day with those 18 to 20-year-olds as they move into the marketplace. I think the other thing that I love about this, so many great tools, but I think I learned a lot about myself. I don't know about you all. But I think when I think about technology in my life, I think it applies more than just to our kids, right? And really, we're the role models, right? It starts with us. So, really think about these things and think about, am I modeling these things for my children? And it's the best gift you can give them, I promise you. So again, thank you, Jody. Really great information. We're gonna be signing off here and moving to our small group time, but I wanna say goodnight to everyone on YouTube, all my friends at Colonial. I think Lori is gonna let me come back next month, so I'll see you next month. But again, appreciate all of you and hope to see you next month. Bye.